name's Sophie Gerber. I'm the co-CEO of Traction Fintech, which is a business that was started in early 2015 in New South Wales, Australia. Along with my co-CEO, Quinn Perot, we set up the business to help financial markets participants with their ASIC requirements to report their over-the-counter derivatives through to them through a trade repository. We set up the business because we were finding that there were quite a number of people in the market who were having a lot of difficulty with getting the access and the necessary information put together to complete the report. So our business helps a number of these participants in financial markets with extracting the data from their trading systems and databases, and then we convert and enrich that data into the format that it needs to be reported in and send it off to what's known as a trade repository for them. We also assist our clients with some comprehension, advisory and consultation around the rules. So our export journey started in early 2016. We went live with our Australian product offering in late 2015 when the rules came into force for our client set. We were quite successful with our launch, and so then we started giving some thought to how we could expand the business. We looked at 3 different areas. First was whether we start offering further services to our existing clients, whether that be further RegTech solutions or other service offering. The second option that we looked at was expanding our offering to different sets of the financial markets in Australia. So basically, as some people call it, going up the food chain. So we were helping a lot of small to medium financial firms. We looked at whether we would be able to help much larger financial institutions in Australia. The third option that we had was to expand into different markets with our current offering, but target similar types of firms in another country, in another jurisdiction, with the same offering that we already had. We considered all of those, and we thought that the best chances that we had was actually to take the last option, which is to expand into different geographic markets with our existing offering. As you would expect, being a RegTech firm, the rules in Europe were slightly different and continue to be different to the rules that we started with in Australia, but there's a lot of similarities that we're working with. So in early 2016, Quinn and I went over to London with one other staff member and started setting up the offices and necessary infrastructure that needed to be put in place. We chose London as our headquarters for a number of reasons. The first one being that there's a similar legal framework, and we were quite familiar with different companies and setups in London. So we chose that as our headquarters for Europe. Another reason why we picked London as a place to get started is because we had a lot of clients in Australia who already had sister companies or subsidiaries or head companies set up in London. Quinn and I also had experience with a number of different people over the years that worked in our target market in London, so we thought that would be our best place to start. Some of the things that didn't go well for us. So going to a new place, which we thought was going to be have a lot of similarities to Australia and the Australian culture and the way of doing business, turned out not to be as true as we thought they would. We found the Europeans, particularly even in London, interact and do business in subtle ways which are quite different to the way things are done in Australia. So that took quite a lot of getting used to. We then found that because we were moving into a market where the laws that we were dealing with, which are known in Europe as EMIR, European Markets Infrastructure Regulation, they'd been enforced for a number of years. So there were a number of incumbents that we were competing against in a way that we hadn't experienced in Australia because we were really the only operator of our services in the market. We also found that a lot of our target clients were locked into quite long and difficult contracts with our incumbents. So we spent a lot of time talking with potential clients to work out how we could frame our offering in a way that was going to be attractive and suitable to the market. Some of the things that did go well. So we put in a lot of time and effort into our European operations. It did take some time. We were lucky, however, that there was some new rules which came into force called MiFID II. We found that this was a good opportunity to start a fresh conversation with clients where they'd been having conversations about the EMEA regulation for quite some time. So MiFID II opened doors for us. It got started in early 2018. So leading up to that time, and then post the implementation of MiFID II, we were able to pick up quite a number of new clients, and that really helped put us on a strong growth curve. But as you will realise, it took 2 years for us to really start to get moving with our growth in Europe. We spent a lot of time, Quinn and I, going to various different trade shows in lots of different countries around the world, looking for new clients and new target markets, and looking for new countries where our services might be received quite well. That has been a time-consuming and sometimes difficult and demoralising process. However, we have managed to be quite firm in our selection of what we put our time and resources into going forward. So we found some expos that really work for us, and we found some models of delivering our services and promoting our products at those expos. We've managed to find a format that has been quite fun for us, and based on another exhibitor we saw at one of the expos we went to, we spoke to them and said, would you mind if we also used this machine that you've got, because it looks like lots of fun. So it's called a Batak machine, and at our expos where we've been presenting, we've used it for the last couple of years, and it's been great with engagement. So it is difficult doing trade shows, but we've tried to make a format where our business is memorable and it's easy to engage with us at the expos. As of today, we have over 12 staff, and we have over 70 firms that we're doing transaction reporting for in Australia and in Europe. We've grown our transaction volume quite significantly. So we've grown from reporting around 1.5 million transactions a day to over 7 million transactions every day, which are huge numbers. Whilst we were expanding in Europe and putting a lot of effort in there, we also started to turn our mind to some of the other growth paths that I mentioned earlier. So we have started looking at implementing additional product lines and obtaining clients from different sections of the market. So we've started doing both of those, and that applies not only in Australia but also in Europe. So we've picked up some small banks, and we've started talking with and signed up quite a number of larger institutions in Australia and in Europe. We've also built a new dashboard product which covers some European regulations under MiFID II called Best Execution, but we're also building those out to meet what we anticipate are upcoming regulations in Australia and other countries such as Singapore and Hong Kong that will bring in best execution requirements as well. So that's an additional product that we've been working on both for our export market and for our local market. Advice for other companies that are looking to expand. My view is certainly that a good analysis needs to be done of the different ways that growth can be achieved, which I've mentioned before. So there's certainly a glamour and kudos which people attribute to growing internationally and expanding their services internationally. It's really important to make sure that you're not blinded by that glamour, and you focus on what's actually going to be best for your business. We've found, even though there has been a lot of fun times going internationally, it has been difficult, and it certainly expands your working day from not only Australian hours but in our case to European hours as well. So it extends the day out a long time, and you've got to be willing to accept that a lot of your evenings will be interrupted by phone calls and obligations in Europe. The other point that I would suggest for anyone looking to expand is to build in strong time frames and strong financial buffers into your projections. It is difficult moving into new markets, no matter how optimistic you think you are about potential prospects in new markets. It is a difficult process, and you can't rely necessarily on it all going to plan. My advice during the COVID-19 crisis for businesses or those looking to expand, certainly it is possible to conduct a lot of business over Zoom and other electronic methods of communication. It's not going to be something that lasts forever. So I would certainly say, despite what the media and some of the communications are saying, don't put all your eggs in the basket of using these forms of communication to try and get clients on board. I think it's a great opportunity to focus resources on building up your product and strengthening your product, and then being ready to go strongly once we're out of this crisis. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but I think it's a good time to take stock of what's going on internally if you possibly can do that. There still is business going on, and we are seeing new clients coming through, which is great, and it's a lot to be thankful for, because we've built up a good base of our SEO and other content and networks, which are really starting to pay off for us now. So thanks very much for your time in hearing a little bit about our journey. I'm always happy to answer any questions anybody has, or try and give anybody some advice if they feel that they need it, or moral support or encouragement if they need it. I'm always available on email, phone or LinkedIn if anybody ever feels that they might get some benefit from talking through the export and growth experience with me, or Quinn feels the same as well. So thanks very much, and look forward to hearing more about the rest of your businesses. Thank you.